I've just met this gentleman. It's 9:15 in the morning, and I asked him the question, where can I catch a bus to Lymington, please? Could you tell me what you told me?
Next bus is 9:15 on Saturday.
So I've missed the 9:15 this morning.
There's only one bus, 2-3 days a week.
Good heavens, I can't believe that in this day and age, a place like this size and a place like Lymington. So is there a train or anything? Is there an alternative?
Not now, I can think of.
Well, that is amazing. That is amazing.
They only have the forest bus, but that doesn't start till like summer holidays.
So how am I going to get back from, even if I drive my van to Lymington now, I can't possibly get a bus back from here to Lymington anyway, can I?
Well, you can get a bus to Totton.
Yeah.
And then get another bus back to here, but that's the only way you can do it.
So I could get a bus from here to Totton and then get a bus from Totton to Lymington.
Yeah.
That's the only way I'm going to do it.
Yeah.
I can't believe it. Okay. Well, could you tell me where I get that bus then, please?
It's straight down there on the right, just past the pier.
Just past the pier.
Yeah.
Thank you very much indeed. Thanks for your advice. Thank you.
Thank you.
Bye.
Yeah.
Morning. It's 11 o'clock or just after on Thursday the 11th of April, and here I am, not entirely sure where I am. I've checked on my map so I can actually pinpoint where I am, but I'm on some kind of estate somewhere just outside of Totton, just outside of Southampton. Now, this is a long story, but I'll condense it very briefly. I drove over this morning from Highcliffe to Hythe, got myself settled. I was there by about somewhere around about 7 o'clock this morning, something like that. Sent off the latest film off to YouTube. Lots of time, went and did some shopping in the local Waitrose, found a good parking place, got myself nicely settled, made myself some breakfast, and watched a bit of video and stuff, just making myself comfortable. I had a shave and everything, loads and loads of time to catch the 9:15 bus that runs from Hythe to Lymington. I stopped a road sweeper guy, who was a very nice guy, to just double check that I was going in the right direction for the bus, and he said, "You've missed it, mate." He says it went at 9:15, which is not what it said on the internet. So I said, "Well, there'll be another one, surely." So he says, "No," he said, "there's only one a day." He said, "It's just the 9:15, that's it. There's only one bus a day that runs to Lymington." So I says, "Well, can you advise me on another way of getting to Lymington?" "Yeah," he said, "walk up the street." He says, "There's a number 9 bus there." He says, "just past the pier where you get the ferry across to Southampton." There was quite a group of elderly people waiting to get onto the number 9, and they said, "You'll have a struggle getting on it because it's always packed." The number 9 turned up, okay. I got on the number 9 and they advised me that instead of going all the way into Totton to get off about 4 miles short of Totton, which I did, and they said go across that dual carriageway, says the bus stop at the other side, you'll get a number 6. So I went to the bus stop, and there was no signs at all that there was a number 6. So I stopped this chap and said, does the number 6 leave from this stop? He said no. He said no buses stop here anymore. He said they've stopped all the buses along this road. He says you want to be going up the hill to the top of the hill, he says, and you'll get it there. He said there's a shop on the left hand side. He says nip in there, it's one of these post office convenience stores, they'll tell you. So I went in there and they said no, you won't get a bus here, you'll need to walk back down the road, down to the roundabout, under an underpass, and you'll come out onto an estate. He says, and then you'll find the bus stop on your left hand side, which is where I am now. And I missed the bus by 3 minutes, so I've been sitting here now for, that was the 10:36, so now I'm waiting for the 11:36, and that's going to get me into Lymington by around about midday or later. So it was a complete waste of time doing all the things that I've done this morning, really, and not that I'm short of time to get back to do the walk back to Hythe, but it's just an illustration of how complicated things can get with buses, and I thought that I would be over all of these problems. Well, wishful thinking, but just goes to show how awkward life can be at times. But apart from all that, I'm feeling pretty good. I'm not too concerned, and at one time I would have been going mental, but I seem to have calmed down a little bit now about this. But that's the bus service for you these days, and the things that they go through. So when I get on the bus, I can then say, here we go. It's around 12:15 now, which means it's taken me 3 hours to get from Hythe to here, which is a distance as the crow flies of around about 10 miles, which coincidentally is about the same amount of time as it takes to fly from Manchester Airport to Sofia in Bulgaria. So now I've got to walk back, and that's quite a simple task, really. It's more or less split into 2 halves, and for the purists who probably follow me strictly on the coastal path, and I'm sure there might be one or two, I'm going to change things a little bit here, because whichever way I go, whether I go along the coastal path to Bewley or if I go along the road to Bewley, it's going to look exactly the same. We're crossing the New Forest. The coastal path does take you a little bit further out, more towards the sea, but you can't see the sea. It doesn't get near enough. So I would imagine that the fields and the forests and all the rest of it are going to be exactly the same. The distance is more or less exactly the same. And whether you go by road direct on the, I think it's the 337, I believe it is, or whether you go by the coastal path, you're going to end up in Bewley at some point, and then from Bewley, it's, even on the Ordnance Survey map, it's a direct route along the road, the 337, into Hythe. So I'm not cheating on myself or cheating on you or anything like that. It's just that it's going to be easier, and it's going to be, when I say quicker, it is going to be quicker, there's no doubt about that, than walking along the coastal path, which takes me more or less too far out to see absolutely nothing more than I would see if I walked along the road. So I reckon that that's going to be around about a 3.5–4 hour walk to get back to Hythe, and I think that that's just, as I say, marginally quicker than if I went on the coastal path, and that's it. That's what I'm going to do. Just to say, I met a chap on the bus last night. You probably saw me meet him, from Romania. His name was Marius. Lovely lad. And I've got to say this, there was an awful lot of publicity not that long ago about Romanians and Bulgarians coming and working in this country and all the rest of it, and to earn some money from their countries. Well, this guy Marius that I met last night was one of the nicest people I've ever met, to be honest with you. Very, very polite, well-mannered, spoke very well. His English was very good, and he was here to get work and to send the money to his family. And we had quite a nice chat, and he was a lovely guy, and you know, he's just a really nice lad. I don't know why people call these people so much. I know I'm on dodgy ground in a little way by the stress of my opinion, but you've got to give these people a chance and talk to them. And they are genuinely nice people, most of them. There's always going to be one or two. There's one or two. You could say that about loads of British people. There's always one or two who are going to spoil the image of. But they're worth talking to, and he was great. And he sent me a message of thanks, and he was such a lovely guy. I had a chat on the phone last night with one of my regular followers, Gordon Hughes, who lives in Runcorn, and such a nice guy. He's been corresponding with for a while and sending messages and stuff, and I thought I'd give him a call. And lovely lad, and he wants to come and do some walking with me. He's busy at the moment, winding down for retirement, and he's had one or two health problems, and especially with his hips, so it wouldn't be a particularly long walk, but I'd look forward to that, Gordon. That'd be really, really nice. And last week I spoke to someone who I really think a lot about, actually, in terms of the messages he gives me and sends me, particularly on YouTube. And I met him and his little party of walkers, Diane and several more. I can't remember the names, I'm afraid. And that's David Granville Watson and the crowd in Cardigan. And I met them, I can't remember exactly when it would be, probably June, July last year, walking, as I started actually on the Pembrokeshire Coastal Path, crossing into Pembrokeshire from Cardiganshire. And just like to say hello, David, and to all the crowd up there, and one day we'll meet, I know that. And it was lovely to talk to you on the telephone and hear your voice. And thank you for everything. You've been a great support to me and a great influence, and it's lovely to have people like you on board. So after all this bus routes, 2 buses, 4 bus stops, God knows what, 3 hours, it's time for me to be on my way. And it's quite a bright sunny day, but there's a nippy wind, and I've made the mistake perhaps of putting my shorts on, but I'll be stepping it out and getting back. What I'd like to do, if possible, is get back to Hyde and get on the ferry across to Southampton. That means that I would then be getting the ferry back from Southampton to Hyde, and then I'll drive the van round into Southampton. So I've got quite a long day in front of me. And I apologise if there isn't going to be a great deal to see on this particular video, because I'll be walking across the New Forest. I'm sure the scenery is quite stunning every inch of the way, but you can only actually take so much of that, so I'll be picking out as many interesting subjects as I possibly can. See you later. It's 4:30 now, and it's quite surprising how the day's warmed up. There's still just a slight chill in the breeze, but nevertheless it's t-shirts and shorts weather. I'm just leaving Bewley now. I've been here for about half an hour. I've just had a couple of cups of tea and a walk around and had a look at the place again. I haven't been here for years. Lovely place. And I would imagine, you know, okay, the kids are off school and everything, so there's a lot of people milling around, but we've got Easter coming up, and certainly these places are starting to really get ready now for the season to open. I've still got about maybe 2 hours walking to do to get to Hythe. It's around about somewhere between 4 and 5 miles, and then I've got to go right through the centre and to the jetty where I can catch the ferry across to Southampton, and then I'll have to come back obviously to pick the van up and take it round. But that depends how I feel. I might leave that until tomorrow morning. It depends on several things really, but it might not be a good idea to do it around about sort of 6:30 anyway, but I'll make that decision when I get there. But it's been a pleasant walk. Sorry that the scenery looks more or less all the same, but it's the same mile after mile after mile. Absolutely stunning. All the ponies on the heath and everything, and all the colours that are coming to life now, and the trees are getting the buds and there's the blossoms, and it's fabulous, absolutely fabulous out here. So I'll make my way now to Hythe, and it's on the road now. I'm actually on the official coast path again. I don't think you missed much by me taking the alternative route, and it was certainly a nice walk and well worth walking across the New Forest. Loved it. One final shot of the river that comes up, and this is like the basin. You can imagine this many years ago when it would have been full of craft and all sorts of different ships going all over the world. But just take a look at this. This is like a very much an inland medieval haven. Good morning. It's Friday the 12th of April 2019, which is exactly 365 days since I set off from Grimsby, and since then I've done just over 2,800 miles in 209 days, which is an average of 14.3 miles a day. Those obviously are walking days, but the 365 days is all the days added up with the days off for bad weather and breaks and all sorts of different things, or just simply days off. And I think that's quite good actually. I've quite enjoyed the challenge of this, and this morning on Facebook there was dozens of messages within the first couple of hours. I was busy editing from then on, so I haven't had a chance to have a look, but I do really thank everybody on Facebook for what can I say, just sort of making me want to do this, because I feel as if I've got such a wonderful following of people, most of who I've met on the walks and face to face, and lots of other people who have joined me, and I'm delighted with the response, and I can't thank you enough. It just makes me feel as if all of this is definitely worthwhile. I'm now in Southampton. I'm just waiting for the 1:30 ferry, which is going to take me back to Hythe, where I started yesterday. And as you know, I walked across the New Forest from Lymington after waiting, well, when I say waiting for a bus, missing a bus and then having to catch two others, and it was a 3-hour journey. I got back to the van and drove over here to Southampton and parked down at a place called Hamble on Rice, which I think is about probably 8 to 10 miles from here. So that's my work cut out for the day. I'm going across the ferry and back, which is a little bit of a treat, as an anniversary treat. I think it's probably going to be one of the best ways of getting a really good view of Southampton, which is a massive place. And of course then the walk back, I should do maybe that walk within maybe 2 to 3 hours, and then I'm going to go and buy myself a 6-pack and have a nice little party all on my own tonight, answering all the messages that I've had today. And once again, I can't thank you enough. I'm hoping to be in Portsmouth by Sunday. I've got some friends who have just come back from holiday yesterday, and I'm going to go and look them up. I'm looking forward to that, and the weather seems to be improving slowly. It's a little bit cooler now, but there was bright sunshine this morning, but it seems as if the weather is definitely settling down now, and I'm wearing my shorts again today, even though it is a little bit cold. So I'm going to have my tea now and a Scotch egg. I've had some breakfast earlier this morning, but as Ralph would say if he was with me, here we go. It sounded more like an Indian. It's 3 o'clock now, and here I am in a very nice cafe. What's the name of the cafe, ladies?
Boat Shop Cafe.
The Boat Shop Cafe in Southampton. And I've just walked over the bridge which brought me back from the other side of the ferry terminal where I went over to Hythe. And it was only a quick there and back kind of thing. I've been to Hythe yesterday and the day before, so I didn't want to go again. So I've come back to make an early start to get back to the van, which is at the place called Hamble in Rice, I beg your pardon, which I've just checked up is exactly 5 miles, and it's going to take me about an hour and 40 minutes. And then I'll be editing, getting myself organised and getting ready to move on tomorrow. But it's not very warm today. I've just walked over this bridge. I've got my shorts on, stupidly, and it's quite cold actually today. The sun did poke through earlier this morning, but it's gone back in again. Now it's quite cloudy. We might get the sunshine out again, possibly, but who knows. So I'm just enjoying another very nice cup of tea, and I'm on my way. These are two lovely ladies that I've met in this cafe. Your name is?
Joanne.
Leanne.
And Leanne. And I've been sort of having a bit of a natter. Lovely girls. You've got a smashing cafe. You keep it absolutely spotless. It's great.
Thank you.
Very nice to meet you.
Thank you very much.
Get in touch with me on Facebook and YouTube. All right, love.
Yeah.
Bye now.
See you later.
Through, and I'm on my way through to Hamble on Rice, where my camper van is, and I've met this lovely lady called Monica, who's been a theatrical landlady, and she's telling me all the different people that she's
wonderful people,
Peter Sellers and all these fantastic. Well, it's lovely to meet you, Monica. I know you may be a little bit camera shy, but it's absolutely wonderful to meet you. And
lovely to meet you, and many more miles may you go.
Thank you very much indeed. Very nice to meet you, Monica. Thank you. Bye bye now.